Ah, well, thank goodness somebody told me that my mic wasn't on. Thank you, Coach Campos, for letting me know my mic wasn't on. You guys got to watch me lip sync for a while. Well, welcome to the live stream. As I was saying to no one, apparently, I've got a little extra pep in my step today because I'm officially on winter break. Official. As of today at 1:30, winter break, and that, my friends, is a great feeling. This is the 12th night of Christmas. It's official. We did 12 streams, which really, after in the fall having gone 12 weeks straight, 12 days is nothing. But it's still a little accomplishment, getting that the 12th stream of Christmas tonight. And Kenny Simpson in the house. Now, Gould, who is our guest tonight, actually, he's bringing another Southside coach in with him. At least that's what he said. Worked with Kenny Simpson last year, so glad to see Coach Simpson here to support his dudes. Smith Performance and Development. Looks like you knows Coach Gould. Wait, is that Derek Smith? Is that the man, the lifter? The man who I wish I could lift as much as? Tell him I'm no longer mad at him, and once again, his friend for now. Do you say Derek Smith, or do you say Derek Smith? Derek, let me know. I don't want to say it wrong. Obviously, I see two E's, but I don't know if it's different. Lucas Freeman out of Minnesota in the house. Welcome, everybody. This is the 12th stream of Christmas, man. Brian Reardon. Tell me you got Brian Reardon to join in, Kenny Simpson, or is he going to come in the chat, right? Come in and watch. Brian Reardon is the head coach at Southside now, who spoke for the online clinic when I went down to Arkansas a couple weeks ago. Really great dude, and it seems super humble, and spoke for the online clinic. Simpson, Gould, and Reardon all did they all three worked together on a weekend planning. Coach Gardner in the house, thanks for stopping in for the weekend, the last stream of Christmas. I want to say Merry Christmas to all. If you celebrate something other, I want to say Merry whatever it is you celebrate. It really can be a fun time of year. I hope that it's jolly for you. I think I went 12 for 12 in the chats. That's right, Coach Freeman. I need a special prize for that. 12 for 12 in chats. Special prize. Well, guys, again, I'm Nate Allbaugh. This is a live stream, 12 streams of Christmas. This is number 12 out of 12. It has been fun doing this. Thank you, all of you who have been checking in, leaving us thumbs up, who've subscribed, those things that help. Thank you to our sponsor. Let me shout out our sponsor now. I like to do that twice per show. Our sponsors, Guardian Caps. Thank you, Guardian Caps, for sponsoring this 12 streams of Christmas. Dabo, Jimbo, Franklin, Riley, Herman. What do these coaches have in common? They all use Guardian Caps during practice. These caps reduce up to 33% of the impact to address the repetitive subconcussive blows that add up during the week while keeping your helmets looking like new. Check them out at guardiansports.com or on Twitter at Guardian_Caps. Coach Weaver in the house, welcome. Coach Big Pete, thanks for checking back in on us, man. Thanks for stopping in. Love the support. Very thankful. Let's get our guests in here. Heading over to Zoom. Let's admit Gould and admit Jonathan Edwards from Southside High School in Arkansas. Coach Gould, do we got you? Yeah? I can't hear you yet. Let me know. There we go. I got you now, Coach Gould. I got you. Frank Gallardo in the house, or is it Gallardo? South El Monte High School in California. Welcome. Jonathan Edwards. Don't know if we can hear you yet. We can't see you. Let us know. Coach Gould. Southside High School. What's Southside High School? Southside of what?
We're south side of Batesville, Arkansas. We're not a part of the same school district or nothing. We're our separate school district, but yeah, we are south side of Batesville, Arkansas, which is in northeast northeast central Arkansas.
Central Northeast. That's a lot of directional. That's to let us know. But we get the idea. Jonathan Edwards just left a little message that said, I have no audio. Does that mean you can't hear us, Coach? Or we can't hear you?
Go.
Hey, we see him now. We're getting somewhere. Jonathan Edwards, let us know. Coach Gardner just got a puppy. Coach, my wife, so my littlest one.
Okay.
We've got a little baby. She's our baby, 7 years old. A pet lover. We've never had a pet.
Mm-hmm.
And she is so pet crazy that we are seriously considering. I don't even know what to say. Like, I dread it. I've never had a pet. I'm scared of the work and money, but I might have to do it. Are you a pet guy?
Not really. Over the course here, we've had animals wander up to us that we've taken in, and we just come to realize that we're not really good to have pets because we're rarely home. Me and my wife, we have 6 kids, so if I'm not on, if I'm not on a field somewhere, we're doing something with them, and we're not right. Not right to have pets. It's not fair to the pets. But with all that being said, currently we have 3 cats that are they're resilient. They kind of take care of themselves outside. And,
so cats don't really count, right? Cats don't count.
No.
All right, I got 2 Jonathan Edwards in now. Let's see how this works out. My wife's in the chat tonight, chatting away about pets. You know, who knows what's gotten into her. She's probably got she's in a good mood too, because I'm on Christmas break, baby. Excited to be here. Coach Gould, I got a handful of questions for you. I was going to kind of wait till we get Coach Edwards in, but we'll let him slowly figure it out. He can text you if he needs help, or he might get it figured. In the meantime, fellas in the chat, we've got some general questions, but we've got some specific questions too about blocking some things in the gun tee, okay? I mean, more specifically, blocking buck sweep, but really he talked O-line drills. Give us an idea, Coach Gould. Hey, Jonathan Edwards, you got us yet?
Yeah, man, I'm sorry. I got on the Safari and I couldn't hear y'all, so I went over to Chrome. And
hey, man, happy to have you, Coach Edwards. And you coach, what do you coach at Southside?
I mainly help with the defensive side of the ball. I do D-line mainly, anything else defensively, and then I help Coach Gould with the O-line a little bit on the side.
Okay, Coach Gould, let them know what you coach. I mean, I'll O-line some, but what else?
Yeah, some with the O-line. I've kind of wore several different hats there at Southside over the years. When Coach Simpson was there, a lot of y'all guys are familiar with him. But I was like the 7th grade head coach, had JV, O-line for most of the time, running backs a couple of years, some D-line. I mean, just several different things. This year I was finished the year as the offensive coordinator, so for senior high. So, I mean, I'm just kind of whatever they need me to do.
Are you a lifelong Southside guy? How long you been there?
Well, yeah, that's the only place where I've worked as far as a high school coach goes. Graduated from Batesville High School, along with, I think, Coach Edwards, what do we got, like 5 guys there, counting ourselves, that are Batesville High School grads, I think.
Yeah, there's several of us.
Yeah. So we just kind of come over to the dark side there, to Southside, and we've been over there really growing the program. Football at Southside's fairly new, roughly a 13-year program or so. I've been there for 10 of them. So, I mean, we just kind of built it from the ground up.
Wow. Hey, you two are Arkansas guys, so you might have a little experience. Give me some insider information or what's your take on our new Illini football coach, Brett Bielema, because he was in your neck of the woods for a little while. You can be honest, but, don't get yourself in trouble.
Coach Edwards, you want to get this one first, or?
He's what I remember of him. He's a ground pound kind of a guy. He's gonna recruit you some big old linemen. He's gonna get you a pretty good running back. He's gonna try to run the ball. Other than that, I think it might get me in a little bit of trouble. So I'll hand it to you, Gould.
No, I really liked Coach Bielema. Great dude. He was welcoming to high school coaches while he was in the state of Arkansas. Did a couple of times he spoke at our state football convention that we have here in the state. As far as that goes, great dude as far as I'm concerned. Just kind of ran out of time, I guess is the way to put it, while he was there at Arkansas.
Yeah. Now listen, Arkansas is kind of in a tough, obviously SEC, That's a big-time conference, hard to win games. But here we are as the Fighting Illini trying to win games. What's your guys' quick take? Kind of like the 30-second version of what would it take for Arkansas to turn it around? Like, what would it take to kind of become a 8-4 team again? What would that take?
Yeah. Obviously, playing 10 SEC games didn't help that.
No.
With the quarantine schedule and COVID and all that stuff this year. No, but Sam Pittman, I think they got the right guy for the job. He fits, he meshes everything. You just see the unity. And what I look like is the way that they played this year with basically the same team. You know, now they added a couple of key parts here or there, but it's basically the same team, and just seeing the camaraderie, the family type of stuff that he had going there was great, and only better things are going to come of that.
I liked it. And when I saw Pittman, I forgot that Pittman was at Arkansas. Just as I got to know him, like on little interviews and such, I thought, I just like this guy. He just seemed very likable. Were you going to add something to that, Edwards?
Yeah, you know, I was just kind of thinking a little bit of X's and O's wise, and I've been kind of following the recruiting a little bit. He's getting after some D linemen, which I think is going to be good, because throughout the year, that's where our depth, from what I could tell on the defensive side, really started hurting us. And then he's also putting a lot of pressure or focus on a running quarterback. And, you know, nowadays you got to have – it's really hard not to win games if your quarterback is one-dimensional. And I think he's really pushing on the KJ Jefferson to be the next person in line after Felipe. And that boy can run a little bit. So I think that's what his next plans are. And I think he's doing really good steps going that direction.
Well, over in the chat, Coach Smith wanted to let you know, Coach Edwards, he's really proud of you for being able to log in.
Yeah.
Listen, let's go to my next question because we're already halfway through our time. It goes so fast. Okay, so you guys worked with Coach Smith Coach Simpson last year. Mm-hmm. Give us one thing. I'll start with you, Coach Edwards. Give us one thing that, now keep in mind, he's watching. He's watching. Give us one thing that you thought Coach Simpson did this well and taught us what?
He really delegated really well, in my opinion. And one of the things that I really liked that he allowed me to do, he allowed me to go take over, you know, mighty linemen, let me do my thing. Now, he would give me pointers and everything. You know, I started under him. You know, he gave me a chance and let me get started with the D-line, and he gave me pointers. But then once I got the feel of it, he kind of let me go and let me take my own lumps with it. But because of that, you know, I was able to learn a lot. And one of the things I was able to do this year was actually go down there with Coach Gould and be a DC with the junior high with him. So, you know, I got to take some major strides. And I think all that was because Coach Simpson taught me the things I needed to know and then let me go out there and learn, you know, kind of by myself. But I always knew he was there to help me out along the way.
Now, when you guys say junior high in Arkansas, that's 7 through 9? Is that right?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it can be, but 7th grade has their own team, and it's mainly 8th and 9th graders.
8th and 9th graders. Yeah, that's different than most states. I hadn't heard of that. And you guys, when I was visiting, you guys were talking about that like it was just like, you know, the normal thing, which obviously when you're from Arkansas, that's the normal thing. And I kept thinking, are they saying 8th and 9th? So that's different for us. Well, Coach Gould, next question. You're going to take this one. Anytime a guy, let's say you loved what Coach Simpson was doing, but anytime a guy leaves and a new guy takes over, a new staff, it's a new year, there's always going to be something that kind of, you guys take this in your own direction. Can you give us an idea of anything that you guys took in, we kind of tweaked or this kind of changed under Coach Reardon, right? And certainly not saying any one way is better than the other, but we took this route, this changed a little bit.
Yeah, I think the meetings portion of it, our Sunday meetings looked a little bit differently. Not really our X's and our O's. You know, Coach Reardon was the DC there, so defense pretty much stayed the same. All the offensive guys, we were still there, so the offense pretty much stayed the same. But just the meetings part of it and having a different guy heading those up, That was really the only thing that really changed, in my opinion, as far as that goes.
Well, I had one of my good buddies, Coach Turner, took over the head job at this when I left my last school as a head coach. And I want to know everybody's opinion in the chat. He had a t-shirt made, okay? And I told him that it was totally a diss on me. And he swore that it wasn't. Now, luckily, we're such good friends. I know he wouldn't have done it intentionally, but I was like, dude, that is straight up rude to the guy before you, which happens to be me. Okay, so their t-shirt said, name of the school is Champaign, said Champaign football established 1894, reestablished 2018. That's the year he's taken over. And I said, that's totally disrespectful, dude. Again, we're best buddies. I know he wouldn't do it on purpose. He's kind of laughing, but he was like, you could tell he was flustered because he felt bad. But dude, he had that on a t-shirt. All their whole program's wearing that the year I left. Give me an opinion in the chat so that I can defend myself to Coach T. Am I just being way too sensitive? Or was that... Okay, this is a little much. What do you think, Coach Gould? Come on.
Yeah, we didn't do anything like that.
You didn't put reestablished the year after Simpson left.
No, we didn't do that. We didn't paint over the banners that he had there on the football field or nothing like that, so Coach, I think you handled it about like I would, if I was in your shoes. So.
Hey, I had to say something. Coach Gardner says I'm being too sensitive. Yeah, maybe so. I fully acknowledge that. Coach Eddings just says yes. So that could be yes to either one. Hey, back to you guys. Let's talk some O-line specifics. I feel like it's got to start right here, and this is a fast answer, but O-line splits. Is there a rule? Is there a norm? Is it going to be based on game plan?
For us, we're normally around 2 to 3 feet, but I'm not going to bang my head up against the wall if I have some slower O-linemen and we're playing faster D-linemen. The O-line knows if they have to come over to the sideline and we pull up our TV and we're going over what happened the previous drive. If I have to tell them to cheat their splits and they didn't already do it, then it's too late. Something bad's probably happened. So they have free reign to adjust that in game, play to play, based on who they got across from them. But we do have automatics where I'm going to shrink them down. Any fourth and short, we're going to automatically cheat our splits down to do away with some of the penetration problems that we could have. Also inside the money area, inside the 10, we're going to automatically shrink those down as well. Okay, good call. So by default though, 2 to 3. Yeah, generally speaking, 2 to 3. Okay, next question. How much time, because again, and Coach Simpson, while he was talking about buck sweep is an expensive play, and it is. Yes. How much time would you say, is this a daily thing that you're working at? How much time is it, give us an idea of how much it's being practiced, and either one of you guys could take that.
I would say over combined minutes, if you do just individual, you're thinking about 15 minutes because you're doing 5 minutes with the linemen, 5 minutes with just strictly guards, 5 minutes with the running backs. So you're looking, I would say, Coach, about 30 minutes a day, just an individual, and that's not even counting drills that we might do in inside and a team. So it's, we practice it every day, and it's something that we work. Tight ends work down blocks, guards work pulls, centers. Usually I take centers and tackles and tight ends, and we work down blocks while Coach Gould takes running backs and the guards, and they work the pull kicks, and we could be doing that, or Coach Smith to be taking the guards. We work that, I would say, 10 minutes at least, and then we carried it over to, inside and then into team. So it's
and that's pretty much any time you're having a normal practice, you're going to be spending that much time on it. Yeah. Now, how does that compare, fellas, to how much time you're spending on other run plays that you have? I mean, are you able to spend that much on all of them, or is it like we're putting blank % into buck?
Well, a lot of our drills are set up to be buck drills, but the plays that we have, they're not totally wasted, because on our pull drills, the guards are also working wraps for our belly play. They're also working kicks for our same side kick play that we have. I mean, so all of this stuff that we're doing applies to the other plays, but specifically speaking, it applies to buck first.
Yes.
That makes sense.
They just marry real well together.
This is a random question I had that just popped in my mind. All right, so if you're spending all this time during the individual time, when you come to team time and you put together that offensive script, how, again, we only have so much time, because I'm assuming you guys are not too platooned, are you? No. So your kids gotta have time to practice defense and offense. How many buck plays do you put into that play script as well? Because that's what I always struggle with. Like, all right, this is my base play, but I also can only practice everything so much. So how often is it making it into the script as well?
Yeah, if we're running 20 plays in our team offense, our team offensive period, if I've scripted 20 plays, it's probably 8 of them, but then
That's a big chunk.
Yeah, two more of them is our double handoff, our counterplay to that. It's just, but we may say buck sweep on there 8 times, and we only run or give it half of that.
Oh, okay.
We're working the RPOs off of it or something like that.
That actually leads into my next question. Yep. Coach Smith down here said they never want to work the pass sets. That seems to be common of anyone that has buck sweep in their playbook. Yeah. It's like those are like really run-oriented guys. Tell me, if you're a team that runs, and this doesn't have to be a gun T team, but if you're a team for you guys, RPO type team, are you just here's my concern. I'll try to explain this as fast as I can. I'm in my team time. I want my kid to work the reads, but he's got one of my scout team players that he's reading who can't truly give him the read. And I'm like, man, I wanted to rep X throw RPO off of it, and I never got the right read, so my guy just kept giving it. Like, do you have any problems with that? And do you tell him which one you need him to do right now? Or do you just truly read it all the time?
We get a lot of that in our pod work, in our practices. And then we use coaches as those defenders, so we know we're getting an accurate read.
So then when you go to team time, it's truly getting read.
Yeah, it's just we're just getting as many reps as we can. But we're focused on our individual, our group time and stuff like that. We slow it down and fine tune those reads during that time.
And usually if Coach Gould or somebody, or Coach Smith comes up to me and tells me that like they're going to read a guy because maybe he's their stud or something like that, I will I'm usually run scout team D. I usually stick a smarter, my more experienced player there and just tell him, hey, this is what this guy's going to be doing.
Yeah.
Mix it up. And usually our kids do a very good job. Like, okay, coach, I'm going to blitz right here. Simulate that read. I'm like, okay. And he'll look it up, or a coach will tell me, give me a signal. And we try to communicate, at least that way they get at least one good one during team. One good read either way in team.
I could see that. Are you guys a up-tempo team as well?
No.
Do you huddle?
No, we don't huddle.
Okay.
We're on the line, and then I dictate that by my play call, how fast we go. Sometimes we're really, really fast. Sometimes we can slow it down. Sometimes that changes in the drive. Just kind of however I see fit, and kind of how the game's played out.
That makes sense to me, man. When we talk buck sweep, probably the places I see the biggest difference is like that block from tight end wing, right? Because for the most part, almost all tackles are gap down backer.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a third, like 1/3 of the teams just go straight gap down backer all the way out through wing. One of my best buddies double teams between tight end and wing. True, it has to be a double team all the time. Maybe sometimes a double team between tight end and wing. And then there's another third where they just have some sort of funky rule there. I would fall under that category. I have a little funky rule there, not a true gap down backer. Where do you guys fall in blocking that?
Our rules are gap down backer. And then we have everything set up if we can't do that for whatever reason. Maybe that's their best player there, and we have a smaller wing in a particular year. The last couple of years we've been fortunate to where that's pretty much just like another tight end type, and he's been able to handle it by doing gap down backer. But we also, because we're spending so much time on buck sweep, all of my answers, I'm going to come up with different answers, different ways to block things in order to keep us to where we can still run buck sweep.
Now, when you do have a bigger wing, are you sacrificing a little home run threat on a counter play with that?
We're at Southside. We don't have too many home run threats anyways. But I mean, no, this guy, I mean, he averaged on our counter play, he averaged 8 to 10 yards a carry this year for us. Didn't have too many turnovers or bobbles, whatevers. And then we also have another guy. What I don't want to do is put a guy there where every time, well, here comes crisscross, you know. So he's also adequate enough at blocking to where we're not always just putting him in there to give him the ball.
Yeah. What is the adjustment when you get, let's say, like a 9 technique, an outside, whatever you call an outside shade of a tight end. And let's say he's playing a little vertical. He's really given that wing fits. What's kind of first place your mind goes to help that?
We're going to bypass him and kick him with our guard.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to bypass him and kick him with our guard.
Because that hits really fast for that near side guard. Does he have any problems with that? Or you make a call and he knows it's coming?
No. He knows that bypass, that's something that we're going to rep during our 5-minute pull period. We're going to rep it. Hey, this is how it's going to look. We think this week, hey, now it's bypass. It's going to hit quicker. You know, so we're repping that in there, even if we don't use it. We're repping our adjustments. One thing that we found in game planning and things like that, we're unique for our area, for our conference. The team, there's no other team that does this really. So I found out a long time ago that we need to have adjustments and practice those adjustments more so than, hey, this is how they're lining up this week, guys, you know, and being wrong when we get out there. So we're training rules, we're training adjustments, and we're doing all that stuff during the week.
Now, do you get, here's a question I have. This is a personal question. This is off my script here, but it popped in my mind. I got to ask. When you get a team that takes like let's say, because you guys will play a lot of just tight end wing surface, right? Tight end wing out here, nothing else outside of it. When you get that team that's going to play like their normal outside linebacker and bring him down really tight.
Yeah.
And then basically use a corner as their new, you know, and he might be a true spill player. They're trying to just screw with your buck sweep. You know, that's what teams are going to, like, whatever they're doing, diving at your guard's knees or whatever, right? Basically using their normal force player to come down tight off the line and be a spill player. Roll the corner down now to play be the new force guy. How do you keep those guys honest to a tight end wing, that tight end wing surface? How do you keep those guys honest out there and keep them backed off?
Just depends on if my tight end is a pass threat or not. Normally at Southside, what we've had over the years has been pretty much just a lineman that's in a skill jersey number. But we do try to keep them honest out there doing different things. We have a sweep play that hits wider. To keep them honest out there. We call it Trojan. That hits wider to keep them honest out there. And then I have different checks in our buck sweep depending on how they're lining up. We have a arc blocking out there. We can run a double arc that we call McDonald's to get out there on those guys. Different things. And I have oversets where we move a receiver over to keep them out there. So just random things.
Yeah, good idea. Now that Trojan play, is that anything like from Coach Murphy out in California, his Trojan play?
Yeah, similar to that.
Okay.
Our rules are if you don't have anybody down from you, you're allowed to pull. Tight end wing have the first 2 guys. And then from outside of that, if no one's down, you have to honor your inside gap. But if no one's there, you can pull out there. Sometimes we've had strong tackle, strong guard, quick guard, all three pull out there on that play. Really good for us this year. We was able to run that a lot in our junior high, and then high school. Later on, we were able to run that as well.
Well, I want to come back to you guys. We're at our time limit. I'm going to check in with the chat, and then I'm going to come over to you guys for some closing thoughts. But I also, the last question I have for you, so you're going to have a moment to think about it, is I'm curious about protecting RPOs. If there's literally nothing on the O-line that's changing, I just want to know what language is being told to the guys with my RPOs. Is anything changing from a normal buck sweep? So that's what I'm going to come back to you with. Over in the chat, all you guys for checking in, thank you so much. If you could leave us a thumbs up, would really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. This is the 12th stream of Christmas. And I wish you guys all the happiest of holidays. And we'll look forward to getting our January stream, whatever format we decide to do, back going. One last request to all of our guys in the chat. I would really appreciate any feedback on, hey, this, maybe try this, maybe try that, or this has been good. I've appreciated it. Those things go a long way because it does take a lot of time, and it's time away from my family, and I don't want to keep doing it if it's not worthwhile. So any feedback you guys could give would be much appreciated. You could drop me a note over on Twitter at the Chief Pigskin. Okay, guys. Finishing off, I'm gonna read out, shout out my sponsor one last time, and then come to you guys on protecting RPOs to close down the show. Thank you to Guardian Caps, our sponsor, for sponsoring the 12 streams of Christmas. Dabo, Jimbo, Franklin, Riley, Herman. What do these coaches have in common? They all use Guardian Caps during practice. These caps reduce up to 33% of the impact to address the repetitive subconcussive blows that add up during the week while keeping your helmets looking like new. Check them out at guardiansports.com or on Twitter at Guardian_Caps. Coach Edwards, you've gotten to talk less, so let's start with you on protecting RPOs. Is there anything special they're being told, or is it truly go run buck sweep and the quarterback will decide whether to throw it?
Can you explain the question to me a little bit more?
Yeah, okay. So when I hear RPOs off our buck sweep, what I want to know is is the O-line truly just running buck sweep and then the receivers doing something different? Or do we have to adjust one thing or more on our O-line in order to protect this?
We have a call with our quick tackle, Steel and Stovepipe. Am I correct, Coach, on those?
Yeah.
And Stovepipe goes straight to linebacker. Steel, I guess Stovepipe goes over top, Steel goes underneath. But yeah, if that's just to read that the defensive end on the end. But most of the time, the linemen think when we run the RPO, they think they're running cannon, and then receivers have something off there to the edge, and they're running those routes. I mean, so every time the linemen think the ball is right behind them, and they're running the ball, they don't know any different.
Man, so it truly is just that a true run pass option where it could be either one, and you guys don't know when you call it.
Sometimes we don't know. It just depends on the experience of the quarterback. But like this year, we had a sophomore quarterback that was back there, and our junior that we had at quarterback got hurt. But yeah, he was comfortable enough, and the coaches were comfortable enough with him doing it. Then when the sophomore got back there, we were calling him instead of all the buck sweeps having pass plays off of it. We did away with that to where it took all the guessing out of it. He looked down and just said buck sweep. So I know I'm not doing anything. Now the receivers bands may have still said, bubble screen, fast screen, or whatever. But on him and the running backs, it just said buck sweep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All
right, man. Well, okay. Last thing. If I am a gun buck sweep team, and I've never had an RPO in my system, and I was willing to try one, what would you encourage me to try?
If it's me, just simple screen out there. I mean, nothing more than that. I'll just try like either
Just
a fast screen to the
like
outside.
to the 2 receiver side.
Yeah, to the 2 receiver side. You read the backside in, and he can pull it out there. The quarterback will attack the edge, and you can have what we set up with in 7th grade is we have bubble screen with the inside receiver. Then our counter off of that is what we call BOGO, where it's a bubble screen and a go route once that corner comes up.
Always deadly.
We do that in 7th grade.
Always deadly. I mean, and that kills people at all levels of football. Coach Edwards, you look like you were going to say a different one that you would say if you could take one.
He ended up saying it. I would just read the backside in.
Okay.
If he crashes, like I said, I'm all for a running quarterback. If he crashes, you pull it and you go. Don't think about anything else. And then if he can get reading that real well, then you start putting a second level to it. But you know, as a defensive coordinator, it's hard where we played a team a few years ago, and they had a quarterback that could read it so well, and he was unstoppable. I mean, he could take the game over because he could read it so well. So to me, that's if you got a quarterback who can do that, you're going to have.
I just wondered how tricky that can be.
It just comes in our mesh drills that we do. The running back knows that the mesh point's on him because the quarterback ain't even going to be paying attention to it. Now, if he looks out there right now and he knows, then the running back knows not to even try to stick out there and get the quarterback's way. They'll say something that only they know what's being said, you know.
But I mean, as he goes by him and that he sees that ball going into his belly, what's being told to the quarterback or that running back? Is it you're not taking it until he gives it to you, or is it vice versa? Or what language is being used there to coach that?
Just the mesh points on him, and it ends up working itself out. You know, Coach Childers, he may have something else that he tells them down there.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm leaning on the running back guy as far as that goes.
Okay, so maybe I'm just overthinking it.
Yeah, I mean.
Sometimes we worry about things we don't have to.
Yeah, we've never had that issue. Of that happening. You know.
Yeah, fair enough.
Maybe I'm gullible, or whatever the case is, and maybe I should be worried about it a lot more. But it's really never even crossed my mind until you asked that question.
Man, well then that makes me feel like maybe it's easy to teach and I can do this. Well, guys, thank you so much. Guys in the chat, thank you so much. A Merry Christmas to all. Happy holidays to all. Like, subscribe. Men, I hope you guys have a wonderful break. Thank you so much for joining. Any closing thoughts?
Hey, appreciate you for having us on. Guys, everything that the guys there at Chief Pigskin and Nate's doing is great stuff. Thank you for incorporating us in this first go around here. We've enjoyed it. I think I speak for Coach Edwards. Anytime you need anything, just let us know.
All right.
Hey, thank you for letting me be on here. It was fun.
You bet, man. You guys have a great night. You take care.
Yeah,
have a good one.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas. Adios.